himself and his imprisonment.
Ah, yes.
Are you a part of that?
Of course. One of the greatest enemies of man. Vivian told me you intend to seek it out. I must advise you against that.
Just because insight has been thrown around so much, you can also make an insight.
6.
I mean, you essentially gather that Kratom does not like that creature. You don't gather anything more detailed than that.
Definitely shaking with the full weight of knowing a goddess staring at her.
Yeah.
My thinking there is, if Granum himself imprisoned it, then it very well should probably be kept locked away because he would have a good reason to do so.
Yep. Chances are high.
What of the fact that your font is in its grove?
I guess I shouldn't be surprised. That creatures seek to undermine everything that was nature as we needed it to be.
As you are cultivated nature, it is untamed?
Yes. Another creature taken by chaos. Such a terrifying force for how it corrupts.
They don't have to free it to find something that could help many people.
I would recommend that you do not free it. For if you do,
The death of everyone?
the death of all those who nature itself.
Intend to find what was lost. Thing of that magnitude at least needs to be in a safe place.
Yes.
If I bring back the font of Granum, they won't maybe murder me once they see that I am what may be considered an unholy abomination. You never know.
He gives you a very what, like a curious sort of what makes you think that look.
See what happens when the cult of Magistery gets a hold of something like me, and I really don't want to relive that memory.
I don't think that would happen.
I don't know how people are going to take the fact that there's just now a child walking around that is the mixture of devil's blood and a god, the daughter of a god.
Okay, but
we have no issues with the Lucidus.
Yeah,
the calling off of their presence was done by Ignacia and Aquila.
And then that kind of paints a big target on my back, and I really don't feel like having the air quotes, king of the gods on my ass.
Granum just rolls his eyes.
You would not have an issue, Keta. My brother is not so foolish to act against my will.
That's good. I've been filled with panic for the past month and a half over a lot of things.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna go scream in the woods again.
Captain, yawn again.
But he's wanting to be let out.
If you want to go ahead and let him out, because I need to go to the bathroom.
If we
Also,
probably
bedtime.
would hurt to take a if I don't know.
It's
Very
almost 10.
fast. Yeah.
All right, let's not take a break then.
A loud, high-pitched shriek before just, I'm good.
But is that where your question ended, Revenge?
There's just some things I need to think on. I've never seen one of these Warforged you mentioned. Curious to meet one.
Truly beautiful constructs. The workings of flesh and blood replicated with oil and steel.
Has Gravenche never met Keg and Barrel?
Dravinche, I don't believe went to that shop.
No.
That was just Brimstone and Felly.
Keta.
Oh, I've met them. They're kind of funny.
Yes.
I've seen at least some of Altia's work directly. It is very beautiful in a sense.
Yes. She was not of me, but I thought of her as a daughter.
I have a lot of aunts and uncles that I don't know about.
If someone were to find a way to bring her back, how do you feel about that?
I would love to see her returned. As I just said, she was not a facet of my own being, but she represented life. A different form of life, certainly, but life.
Just rolling that insight to see if Da Vinci can gauge on how truthful and honest he is about that.
All right. Sorry, I had to pop my back. You feel like there might be a little bit more to it, but he's not lying. Like, it is definitely the tone of a father speaking about their child. But there's like a tinge of something else there.
Okay.
You would almost assume worry?
Then the rumor I had heard sounded feasible. I'm thinking I might try exploring it to see if some fruit might bear from it.
I would warn against, no offense, but a mere mortal from tampering with the business of the gods. But that would make me sound like my brother.
Even if it's to bring back one that has died?
There's actually more to the statement he was saying.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop you all on your quest. Else I would have brought an army with me and seized you.
Yeah.
Thought that
That's
was going to
true.
happen. I was looking for an army on the horizon.
I think we feel them coming, Kata.
I got
Just-
paranoid. I'm sorry.
No. You don't hear marching in the distance.
Yeah.
Then, was there anything else?
No, that he stopped.
Then I'll then I'll confide in you one thing. I have seen Altia. She's broken, but she still can move.
The core of my being cannot believe you. And yet I don't hear false words in your sentences. And in my heart I want you to be telling the truth. You're saying that Altia is not truly dead.
She's not in Elsewhere. I've seen Elsewhere myself. Nor is she on the mortal plane. But
You've
I've
seen Elsewhere.
in a dream.
Interesting.
So, the rumor I had was from her. So I seek to help her.
That is a heavy burden.
Gave her my word. And there's one thing silly about this mortal. Give my word, I try to keep it as best I can.
I've known many mortals to do the same. It's the reason why I will never give up on any of you.
At least someone has faith in us.
Think someone has to. Wouldn't be here if nobody did.
We'd just be running around with our heads cut off almost.
You're not that weak of luck.
I also feel like if we were running around with our heads cut off, that might not make Grandma happy.
It's a metaphor.
Right.
Probably shouldn't keep you for long. You have other work to do at the Citadel.
Yes.
Aye.
Anyway, thank you for telling me what you knew about Altia.
Of course.
Do you think it might be possible to, if something can be done to bring her back, that you or a member of the church could help with it?
Persuasion check with advantage.
21?
All right.
If, and this is a massive if,
And he actually sort of looks around.
Da Vinci.
He extends a hand out towards you.
Da Vinci visibly stands up straighter and holds his hand out to grab
Alright.
it.
To everyone else, Travince and Grinum disappear.
Oh,
Okay.
what the fuck?
Ah!
This keeps happening to him.
Stop making deals with gods!
Can't have to deal with her granddad.
On it now. Travinci's a godslut.
All the gods would love to have Travince as a cleric.
So
Travinci comes
I
back.
think we need to keep him away from either Aquila and Ignesia.
Ignesia might fuck him.
Ignesia
Yes.
would Kim.
No, this is Brimstone in character. I think we need to keep him away from Ignesia,
Yeah, keep all men away from Ignesia.
especially him.
Men and women.
I say we just avoid Ignesia.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right, so next time we get to Tesvarel, look up Ignesia.
Oh, no.
Explicitly look up Ignesia. Anyways,
Sparkle's just like,
Yeah.
I was trying to be able to talk to Ignesia.
Anyways,
yeah. Travince, you and Granum reappear somewhere else, like up the mountain, like a good few hundred feet out of view and out of earshot of the rest of your party.
The first time I travel, something like this happens to me, but it's always a bit disturbing.
That was just a simple spell.
He just cast Dimension Door.
Hmm.
But because he's a god, he doesn't have to be super flashy.
Yeah, just more Da Vinci commenting on the amount of times where it's like, okay, I do this, and then boom, instantly somewhere else.
boom, talking to a god.
Travince, the third time he's been in a private conversation with a god.
He's the God Whisperer.
The first time by choice, though.
And he is probably one of the least devotedly religious members of the party.
Yeah. I mean, it's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. They really want you to have a come to God moment.
Da Vinci.
You see Granum's back just suddenly straighten up, and he actually stands at his full height. Which is right around 6.5 feet tall, where previously he was sort of like hunched over a little bit.
So standing taller than Da Vinci.
Yeah. And he does actually suddenly appear more youthful. Definitely, you're starting to get that sort of pressure around your being. The feeling of standing in the presence of a being so powerful.
Oh, yeah, just not saying it, but thinking, that's where that is. That's that feeling of power he's familiar with.
Yeah. It's straight up the scene from Avatar where King Boomy stands up straight. Just the sudden change of character.